André Rieu, a name that instantly brings elegance, beauty, and joy to mind. The man who made classical music feel alive again. The man who transformed concert halls into dreamlands filled with lights, laughter, and waltzing melodies. For millions around the world, he is the man who can brighten an entire evening with just a smile and a violin. His confidence seems unshakable. His presence feels larger than life. His charisma looks effortless, natural, almost magical. But the truth behind that charm is something no one expected. A truth he hid from the entire world for more than 30 years. A truth that shows he wasn't just a musical genius, he was a silent warrior. What if I told you that behind that perfect smile, behind the shining stages and glittering costumes, behind the thunderous applause of thousands of fans, André Rieu was living a double life. One life he lived in the spotlight, adored, celebrated, loved. And the other life he lived in complete silence, carrying a burden he never shared, fighting a battle he never talked about, a battle he kept hidden even from the people who saw him every single day. His rise to fame in the late 1980s was nothing short of a miracle. At a time when classical music was fading from mainstream popularity, André revived it like a phoenix. He didn't just play music, he made people feel it. He made orchestral music accessible to everyone. He made his concerts feel like celebrations rather than formal sit-down events. Audiences laughed, cried, danced, and sang along. His name became synonymous with joy. But as the world saw his popularity rise, his internal world was falling apart. Most people don't know that André's journey was filled with pressure from the very beginning. Born into a musical family, expectations were sky high. He wasn't allowed to make mistakes. He grew up in a world where perfection wasn't a choice, it was the standard. That pressure built a fire inside him, yes, but it also planted a fear that he would never be good enough, a fear that the world would only accept him as long as he remained perfect. And that fear stayed with him for decades. As his concerts grew larger, so did the voice inside him. You must not fail. You have to be perfect. What if the audience doesn't enjoy tonight? What if everything falls apart? These thoughts began to haunt him, but he hid them behind the brightest smile. By the early 1990s, André's orchestra was touring non-stop, city to city, country to country, stadium to stadium. His schedule was brutal. Rehearsals all day, travel at night, interviews, press conferences, recordings, and massive performances under spotlights that never seemed to turn off. Millions of people believed he was living the dream, but inside, he felt trapped in a nightmare. He later revealed that before every show, he experienced crippling anxiety. Not just butterflies, but deep, painful fear. The kind of fear that tightens your chest and makes your hands cold. The kind that makes you wonder if you will collapse before you even step on stage. The kind that makes your heart race so fast you feel like it might burst. This wasn't occasional stress. This was a battle he fought every single night for more than 30 years. Imagine this. A man who performs for 20 to 30,000 people at a time, arrives backstage, puts on his beautiful suit, smiles for the cameras, but inside, he's struggling just to breathe normally. His orchestra members thought he was calm, the crew thought he was relaxed, even his family believed he had nerves of steel, but the truth was, he had simply mastered the art of hiding. One musician from his orchestra later said she never once suspected he was afraid. Not once. That's how well he disguised it. Behind the scenes, he sometimes needed moments alone to regain control. He would close his eyes, take deep breaths, and fight with the fear that threatened to break him. And then, the moment he stepped on stage, he transformed. The crowd saw confidence. They saw energy. But no one saw the storm inside.
Over the years, this double life became heavier. Anxiety doesn't just disappear, it grows, and it grew so much that one night, after an emotionally exhausting performance, André collapsed. His body simply couldn't take it anymore. The exhaustion, the pressure, the fear, it all came crashing down. That night became the turning point of his life. He vanished from the spotlight for months. Fans were confused. His team stayed silent. Some thought it was a physical illness. Others whispered about burnout. But only André and a few doctors knew the truth. He was mentally and emotionally drained to a breaking point. Recovery wasn't easy. For the first time in his career, he had to slow down. He had to face his fears instead of burying them. And in this difficult period, he realized something profound. He had spent most of his life pretending to be strong, while never allowing himself to feel weak. He finally understood that even legends are human, even icons can break. Years later, during a heartfelt interview, André revealed everything. He spoke about the fear he hid, the pressure he carried, the anxiety that consumed him for decades. He admitted he felt like he was living two lives, one for the audience and one he kept locked in his heart. His confession shocked the world. People who admired him couldn't believe that the very man who made them feel so much joy was suffering in silence for so long. But what makes this story inspiring isn't the pain, it's the comeback. André didn't give up. He didn't walk away from music. Instead, he fought harder. With therapy, lifestyle changes, healthier routines, mindfulness, and a supportive circle, he slowly rebuilt himself. He began to confront anxiety instead of running from it. He learned to breathe, to relax, to forgive himself for not being perfect. The process took years, but he emerged stronger, calmer, and more connected to his art than ever before. Today, when André Rieu walks onto a stage, he brings not just music, but courage. His smile is real, his joy is real, his performances are filled with warmth because he knows what it took to stand there. He knows the price he paid to keep going. He knows the strength it took to fight a silent battle for so long. And that is why his story matters. Because André Rieu's double life wasn't about scandal or deceit. It was about silent suffering. It was about the invisible weight carried by a man the world thought had everything. It was about how even the brightest stars have shadows, and even the strongest people have moments of fear. The world sees André Rieu as a legend, but now we know the truth behind the legend. A man who walked through fear, survived it, and turned it into something beautiful. So the next time you see André Rieu smiling on stage, remember, that smile isn't just part of a performance, it's a victory. A victory over fear, over anxiety, over years of silent struggle. A victory that reminds us all, even when life is difficult, even when the world expects perfection, even when fear tries to control you, you can still rise. You can still shine. You can create something beautiful. And maybe that's the most powerful music André Rieu has ever given the world. The music of courage.